Code Red in Commanders Nation. Did you know the future of our franchise is hanging by a sling? Tonight we uncover the truth behind the fast-track return of our star QB and why a franchise legend is shouting that it's a historic mistake. Medical secrets? Internal pressure? RGIII just dropped a bomb that's got Ashburn shaking. But hold up, why did the front office sign a washed-up veteran in the middle of November? This isn't rebuilding. This is panic mode. If you don't want to get fooled by toxic band-aids, stick around until the end. Subscribe now or miss the revelation that changes everything. After seeing our star quarterback rocking that immobilizing sling against the Lions, after feeling that pit in your stomach when he didn't board the flight to Madrid, I'm telling you this. New info just dropped that completely changes the outlook. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, citing sources close to the situation, just reported that Jayden Daniels could be back in as little as 3 weeks. You heard that right. 3 weeks. No surgery needed, no ligament damage, and the team chose not to place him on injured reserve. But here's what really matters. This recovery could stretch anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks depending on how things go. Now let me ask you this. Do you really think 3 weeks is enough for a dislocated elbow to fully heal? Because I think there's something deeper going on here. Fowler himself said this could quickly turn into 5 to 6 weeks, and when I hear that, when I see our QB in that sling, I start wondering if we're being realistic. Let's get technical for a second. A dislocated elbow without ligament damage is, at best, a 4 to 6 week recovery. We're talking about the most complex joint in the arm, the one that takes all the impact when a quarterback hits the turf wrong. And Jayden, with all due respect, plays a style that puts that elbow at risk constantly. Remember last season? Daniels was a phenom, one of the best rookie campaigns in NFL history. But this year, analysts are starting to see cracks in his processing. He takes off running before reading the whole field, takes hits instead of sliding smart, and that warrior mentality we all love is the same thing that's got him sidelined right now. I'm telling you this straight up, if Daniels ends up on the longer end of that recovery timeline, it'd be insane to throw him back out there. And even if he's on the shorter end, it might still be insane if we keep losing. Let's be real, with a record of 3-7, this team's only playing for pride at this point. And here's what's been keeping me up at night. Daniels is still young. He's still developing. Regular season reps are priceless for his growth. There's no substitute for live game experience. But at what cost? Another bad fall? Another injury that could be way worse? Fowler said the team will reevaluate after the bye week. That gives us time. That gives us perspective. But I think the decision should already be made. If there's any doubt, any risk, if that elbow isn't 100%, Daniels shouldn't be under center. And you know what's the most frustrating part? This is all out of Jayden's hands. He's going to attack rehab like he attacks everything, with max intensity. But after that, it's on the doctors, it's on Dan Quinn, it's on Adam Peters to make the right call. Not the popular one. Not the one fans want to hear. The right one for the future of this franchise. Because let's be honest, what do we gain by putting Daniels back out there if we're not in the playoff hunt? More film for teams to study his weaknesses? More chances for him to get hurt again? I'm telling you it's not worth it. If that's got you thinking, wait till you hear this, because a franchise legend just said something that's got all of Commanders Nation split down the middle. And just when you thought the debate couldn't get any hotter, Robert Griffin III just jumped into the chat in the most explosive way possible. On his podcast Out of Pocket with RGIII, the former Commanders quarterback, the Heisman winner, the number 2 overall pick, the guy who lived through almost the exact same situation as Daniels, just made a direct call. Washington should sit Jayden Daniels for the rest of the season. Let me say that again so it's crystal clear. RGIII, who knows exactly what it's like to be the future of this franchise and watch that future get wrecked by injury, is publicly saying Daniels shouldn't take another snap in 2025. And listen to his exact words, because this is powerful. I haven't spoken in depth about my time in D.C. I even scrapped a book because I didn't feel it was the right time to have that conversation. Eventually, that time will come. But know this, my situation in D.C. and Jayden's, beyond the surface level of being a black quarterback, number 2 pick, Heisman winner, injured on the same yard line, on the same field, against the same team, it's not the same. Did you catch that? It's not the same, because of the organization. RGIII is giving credit to Josh Harris and this new front office, but his message is loud and clear. Don't make the same mistake they made with me. Let me ask you this. Do you think RGIII is being dramatic? Because I think he knows exactly what he's talking about. He lived the nightmare. After battling injuries all through the 2012 season, RGIII tore his LCL and ACL in the 2013 wild card game. And he never, ever looked the same again. Look at the numbers. In 6 of his last 7 seasons, Griffin didn't even play 10 games. His career, which started with so much promise, fizzled out because they rushed him back, because the old regime prioritized the now over the future. And here's what's been haunting me. The similarities are chilling. Both won the Heisman. Both were picked number 2 by Washington. Both suffered major injuries at Northwest Stadium, formerly FedEx Field, against the Seahawks. It's like history is trying to repeat itself, and RGIII is yelling from the mountaintop, "Don't let this happen again." His argument is simple and straight up. With a 3-7 record, out of playoff contention, why risk Daniels? Why put him in a spot where one more fall, one more bad hit, could end not just his season, but maybe his career? If this team isn't playing for a playoff spot or something meaningful, they should shut him down for the rest of the year, RGIII said. And I'm telling you, he's got a valid point. But here's the flip side, and it's something we've got to consider. Jayden Daniels, in 6 games this season, has thrown for 1,184 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Not MVP numbers, but not bad either given the circumstances. And those reps, that experience, the growth that comes from playing under pressure, it's all invaluable for a young quarterback. So what do we do? Follow the advice of someone who lived the worst-case scenario? Or trust that this new front office, with Adam Peters in charge and Dan Quinn as head coach, will make the right call? I think the answer's somewhere in the middle. If Daniels is fully healthy, if the doctors give a no-doubt green light, if that elbow is 100%, then maybe you consider putting him back in. But if there's any doubt, any risk, the decision should be obvious. And here's what's really got me uneasy. RGIII said he's eventually going to tell the full story of what happened in D.C. He scrapped an entire book because it wasn't the right time. What secrets is he holding? What pressure did he face? What behind-the-scenes decisions wrecked his career? Because if RGIII, who lived through all of that, who has every reason to want this team to succeed, is saying publicly sit Daniels, that tells me he knows something we don't. That he saw something in his experience that's got him terrified of history repeating itself. But that's nothing compared to what's next, because while all this is going down, the organization just made a move that shows exactly where we are. And just when you thought we were done, the team just signed DeMarcus Walker, a 31-year-old veteran defensive end who's been a free agent since the Bears cut him before free agency. Now let me ask you this. Why is a 3-7 team, clearly out of the playoff picture, signing a 31-year-old vet in November? What does that tell us about where this franchise is? Let me give you the full context. Walker has played in 100 games across stints with the Broncos, Texans, Titans, and Bears. His best season came with Tennessee, where he posted 7 sacks, a career high. In Chicago, he started and notched 3.5 sacks in each of his 2 seasons. This is a practice squad deal, according to John Keim of ESPN. Walker is with the Commanders in Madrid, which means he could be elevated for the game against the Dolphins. And here's what's really got me thinking. This isn't a move for the future. This is a desperation move. Washington is dealing with multiple injuries on both sides of the ball. We're near the bottom of the league in several defensive categories. Joe Witt Jr. isn't even calling the defensive plays anymore. And while we're middle of the pack in sacks with 22, there's clearly a need for depth. But I'm telling you this, signing a 31-year-old vet who hasn't played a single snap all season, who got cut by the Bears and didn't draw interest from any other team until now, that's not building for the future. That's slapping a Band-Aid on a wound that needs stitches. Look, I get the logic. We need bodies. We need vets who know the system. We need something to help us stay competitive in these last 7 games. But at what cost? What message are we sending to the young guys on the roster? What are we telling the fans about our priorities? Because if we're really out of it, if we're really not making the playoffs, shouldn't we be giving reps to the young players? Shouldn't we be evaluating what we've got for the future instead of bringing in vets who probably won't be here next year? And here's the part that kills me. Walker visited the Giants and Lions back in April. Neither team signed him. The Giants, one of the worst defenses in the league. The Lions, dealing with constant injuries. Neither wanted him. And we signed him in November? In the middle of a lost season? I think this shows something deeper about where we are as a franchise. We're in panic mode. We're trying to salvage a season that's probably already gone. And instead of looking ahead, instead of using these last 7 games to develop young talent, we're bringing in vets who won't move the needle. Walker's performance in the coming weeks will determine his market value for 2026. But let's be honest, does it really matter? Are we really going to re-sign a 32-year-old defensive end who couldn't draw interest all year? And here's what really worries me. This move, combined with the Daniels situation, combined with our record, tells me this organization still doesn't know what its identity is. Are we building for the future or trying to save the present? Because you can't do both. If we're going to sit Daniels for the rest of the season, like RGIII is suggesting, then we should also be giving reps to the young guys on defense. We should be evaluating every position, seeing what we've got, getting ready for the 2026 draft. But instead, we're signing 31-year-old practice squad vets. Do you see the contradiction? Do you see the lack of clear direction? I'm telling you this, Adam Peters needs to make a decision. Dan Quinn needs to make a decision. This organization needs to decide if we're rebuilding or still trying to compete. Because these mixed signals, these conflicting moves, are only going to drag out the pain. So here we are, Commanders Nation. 3 stories that define exactly where we are. A star quarterback who might come back but probably shouldn't. A legend begging us not to repeat the same mistake. And a front office signing vets instead of looking ahead. Let me ask you this, and think hard before you answer. What's more important? Bringing Daniels back for these last 7 games and risking his future? Or protecting our most valuable investment and accepting that this season is already over? Because let me be clear, if they put Daniels back in and he gets hurt again, if we repeat the RGIII story, if we ruin this franchise's future out of pride or fan pressure, that would be unforgivable. RGIII is right. The organization is different now. Josh Harris isn't Dan Snyder. Adam Peters isn't Bruce Allen. But that means they need to make different decisions. Smart decisions. Ones that prioritize the future over the now. And about Walker, look, I hope the guy comes in and makes an impact. I hope he proves every team that passed on him wrong. But realistically, this is a depth move, nothing more. And if we're being honest, those reps should be going to the young guys. So here's my final question for you. Are you ready to accept that this season is done? Are you ready to protect Daniels and look ahead to 2026? Or do you want to see him back out there no matter the risk? Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree with RGIII? Do you think Daniels should come back if he's healthy? What's your take on the Walker signing? And if this breakdown helped you, if it made you think, if it gave you a perspective you hadn't considered, then subscribe to the channel. Because tomorrow we've got more news, more analysis, and I guarantee you won't want to miss what's coming. This is a family, Commanders Nation. And families tell each other the truth, even when it hurts. The truth is this season is lost. The truth is Daniels should stay out. And the truth is we need to start building for the future now. Hit like if you agree with RGIII. Subscribe if you think Daniels should come back. And share this video with every Commanders fan you know, because this conversation is too important not to have. So here's what I need from you, Commanders Nation. Don't just scroll past this. Don't just nod and move on. This is the kind of moment that defines who we are as a fan base. We've been through it all, bad ownership, wasted drafts, injuries, heartbreak, and false hope. But now we've got a chance to do things differently. We've got a front office that actually seems to care. A coaching staff that's trying to build something real. And a quarterback who could be the future if we don't screw it up. So let's not make the same mistakes. Let's not rush him back just to say we didn't quit. Let's not throw away the next 10 years of potential just to win one meaningless game in December. This is bigger than pride. This is bigger than one season. This is about building something that lasts. So if you're with me, if you believe in protecting Daniels, in giving the young guys a shot, in holding this front office accountable, then make your voice heard. Drop a comment. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, keep showing up. Keep watching. Keep caring. Because this team is going to turn the corner. Maybe not this year. Maybe not even next year. But it's coming. And when it does, we'll remember these moments. The tough calls. The hard truths. The decisions that shape the future. We're not just fans. We're part of the rebuild. So let's do it right. And as always, hail to the Redskins.